Hey guys, welcome to this awesome video. In this video, we will be reacting to people with unusual body parts. Okay? So let's get into this video.
All people are born unique. Well, with the exception of twins. Unless you're fraternal. Now, moving on. These guys take their uniqueness to a whole different level, though. Especially number one, which, needless to say, allows them to do things that you shouldn't try at home. Find out more about that guy and 9 other unique individuals as we give you 10 people with unusual body parts. Number 10. Spider-Boy. Deepak Paswan from India was born with 4 legs and 4 arms. The extra limbs are pretty useless, though, just hanging out of Deepak's chest. The extra set of arms and legs actually belonged to his twin, which failed to develop fully and somehow attach itself to Deepak. This kind of condition is known as the parasitic twin. But instead of being branded a freak and shunned by the community, which sadly is what usually happens to people similar to him, Deepak was instead worshipped by the Hindu pilgrims from the area near his village in the state of Bihar. They actually believe that he is an incarnation of the god Vishnu, who is also known to have more than 4 limbs. The family is pretty uncomfortable with all the attention they were getting, so they decided to take Deepak to a doctor to have the parasitic twin surgically removed. Fortunately, the removal was a success, and Deepak was able to live a normal life. Number 9.
That's unusual.
Two-headed girl. A little girl was born back in March of 2004 with exactly a condition like that. An extra head. Just a head. No arms or legs, not even a body. Just a head. Only known as Mage, she was born with a rare birth condition called Craniopagus parasiticus. This condition happens when an embryo begins to split into identical twins, but fails to complete the process. This leaves an undeveloped conjoined twin in the womb. In simple words, Mage was born with a parasitic twin head. Of course, the extra head had to be removed, and the very difficult operation lasted 14 grueling hours. To the surprise of many surgeons themselves, the surgery was successful, making her the only person to survive such an operation. Her story wasn't meant to have a happy ending, though. While she survived surgery, she unfortunately contracted an infection and succumbed to it 2 years later. Number 8. A Visible Heart. Vanellope Hope Wilkins was delivered prematurely by cesarean section, which is problematic enough. Just ask any parent whose kid was born prematurely. But little Vanellope had bigger issues coming out of her mom's womb. You see, she was born without a chest plate, and her heart was outside her body. She was born with a condition known as Vareg ectopia cordis, in which part or all of the heart grows outside the body as the baby develops.
That's sad.
This is so rare that it only happens in 1 out of 5 million births. After a series of operations to put her heart back in her chest, little Vanellope has made a miracle recovery and was finally allowed to return to her home 14 months after she was born. She underwent 3 surgeries in total, which involved putting her heart back inside her body, where it's supposed to be, then covering it up with artificial ribs of made-up mesh. As I said, the surgery was a resounding success. Oh, and if her name sounds familiar, her mom actually named her after the little glitchy girl in Wreck-It Ralph. She thought that by naming her as such, she would be as feisty as the little girl in the cartoon. And man, was her mom right. Number 7.
Wow.
Nosehead.
What?
There's actually a good reason why this man's nose is on his forehead. His name is Xiao Liang, and he was involved in a horrific accident that left him wanting for a nose replacement. But instead of the doctors just giving him a fake one, they decided to grow one for him. The problem is, again, they grew it on his forehead. Of course, it's not going to stay there permanently. It's going to be transplanted to its rightful place as soon as the nose is ready. The process of growing your own body part is pretty amazing, but it's still in very early stages. But a bigger question remains.
The growth. Gross.
The growing nose needs to be monitored all the time to make sure that all blood vessels are working as they should, allowing the new tissues to grow and thrive. This way, Xiao Liang can monitor the health of his new nose just by looking at the mirror. That doesn't really answer my question of why on the forehead, though.
Yeah.
Number 6. She-Devil. A woman named Liang Zishun from Sichuan, southwest China, noticed one day that something was growing out of her forehead. It was small and looked like a mole, so she didn't really mind it. The thing is, though, it continued to grow until it ended up kind of looking like a horn. The growth is actually called a chitinous horn, which are made up of compacted keratin, which is the same protein we have in our hair and nails, and forms the horns, wools, and feathers in animals. The growths are most common in elderly people, aged between 60 and the mid-70s. They can sometimes be cancerous, but like in the case of China's she-devil, more than half of the cases are benign. Number 5.
Good.
31 digits.
Oh!
Yak is a 63-year-old woman who holds the Guinness World Record for having 31 fingers and toes, and she has 12 and 19 respectively. She was born with polydactylism, a common abnormality at birth where a person has extra fingers and toes. I've actually seen this condition personally, but not to the same extent as hers. Kamari, who is from Rhodesia in India, said that her condition means she is forced to stay indoors, as her superstitious neighbors brand her a witch. And unfortunately, she does have to stay home to keep herself safe. Number 4.
That's sad.
Certified Eye Popper.
Okay, that is creepy and gross.
You can be an internet sensation. That is exactly what Ahmed Khan is.
That's so gross.
Being able to do something that I couldn't bear even looking at. And that is popping both of his eyes out of his sockets. The schoolboy from Lahore, the capital city of Pakistan's Punjab province, discovered that he had this bizarre eye-popping talent in 2016. Scary enough, Ahmed is now eyeing, and oh yes, I went there, a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records. He is very aware of the record for popping eyeballs, and the maximum belongs to Kim Goodman from the U.S., but he's confident that he can break that record any time. Please don't. I don't want to see that.
Oh! My head on the wall.
Doll boy. In China, a baby boy was born with what appeared to be a mask permanently attached to his face. Of course, as soon as word of this made it to the public, it caught the hearts of millions around the world. The boy, only known as Hui Kang, was born in 2009 with a condition called a severe transverse facial cleft, which means there are 2 huge gaps appearing from both sides of his mouth, leaning towards his ears. It's similar to having a cleft palate, but much, much worse. When his condition was made public, donations started pouring in, with the purpose of financing Hui Kang's surgery. That way he'd be able to live a somewhat normal life. Thanks to all the golden-hearted people around the world, the boy has undergone a few reconstructed surgeries now. And according to reports, he's looking much.
Did you know that dating
Stupid
apps
ad.
are designed to make you spend hours swiping?
He's looking much better now. Now it's time for today's best pick. Today's pick shows us a man with unusually large arms and hands. Kinda like Popeye or a Charger from Left 4 Dead.
That is a huge.
Yeah, he's a real guy.
Hand.
Find out more about him next with number 2. Over the Top. Jeff Dabe is an arm wrestler who has something that he regularly uses to his advantage in his chosen sport. You see, he's got extremely large arms and hands if you couldn't tell. He was once an arm wrestling prodigy who started competing during his teens in the 70s, but his career came to a screeching halt in 1986, when his right arm was injured during a competition. However, he's just recently come out of retirement, competing exclusively with his left arm, which now has a staggering circumference of 19 inches, which, according to Dave's wife, is always the center of attention whenever she and her husband are out and about. You would think that something was wrong with him, or has some rare condition that it resulted into his arms growing so large. The thing is, he's perfectly normal. He's had huge guns ever since. Just look at his adorable baby photo. Even at birth, he possessed pythons that even Hulk Hogan would be jealous of. To this day, doctors can't figure out what made Dave's arms and hands so big. Health experts at the University of Minnesota initially thought it was a case of gigantism, but it was quickly ruled out. I guess we'll never know. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on, guys, what's up with that? Can you guys please...
Better than mine.
You guys watch my videos every day anyway,
2% of you guys are actually subscribed.
Every video we put out.
Subscribe!
Number 1. Big Mouth. If it ain't food, don't put it in your mouth, especially things as large as a soda can.
Oh!
Then again, that exact thing can actually make you famous. Francisco Domingos Joaquim holds the record for having the biggest mouth in the entire world. His mouth is 6.69 inches from corner to corner, which is so big that he can actually fit an entire can of soda inside it, sideways. When he was 20 years old, he even joined a big mouth competition in Rome, where contestants crammed their cake holes with a whole host of items, including saucers, coffee cups, and beer bottles. But nobody's mouth could beat Francisco and his can of soda. Francisco and his unique talent was discovered by Guinness Book of World Record researchers scouring YouTube. After 2 years of searching, they tracked him down to his hometown in Angola. Since then, Francisco has become an internet sensation, with his videos racking up thousands of hits. Joaquim said it was a dream come true to be honored by Guinness World Records, and I really can't argue with him on that statement. Do you have an...
Wow! Some of them were gross, some of them were weird, some of them were intent. Wow, guys. Well, guys, this is it for the video. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. Don't forget to like, and I guess I will see you guys on next time. Goodbye.